Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this is an article that was begging for a video.
Is that what this is?
I think that CNET actually wants YouTubers to make videos of their articles so they get traffic, because we know that these websites are declining in views. Right. So I think that's what's going on here, because this is beyond parody. Mm-hmm. This is ridiculous. Star Wars has never been better thanks to Disney. Mm-hmm. Star Wars has never been better, not even in 1977, not in 1980, not in 1983, not even in 1999. Star Wars has never been better. So Disney has ushered in a golden age for a galaxy far, far away, and I can't wait to see the Rise of Skywalker. Oh, and I love The Last Jedi.
So right off the bat, we know this is done completely to be clickbaity and to try to get people to read the article.
Fight me, Star Wars has never been better.
Oh, okay.
So we'll
no problem, Sean.
No problem. We'll go there. We'll also talk about how Lucasfilm is reportedly limiting creative control on Star Wars movies.
They should have done to begin with.
Right, because Star Wars has never been better. There's nothing wrong with Star Wars.
That's why, yeah, the numbers just aren't good.
The numbers aren't good. The Game of Thrones guys bailed. Right. Everything's fine.
It's a golden age now.
It's a golden age of Star Wars.
He forgot the shower part.
It's the golden shower of Star Wars.
That's right. He forgot the shower part.
All right, so before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. We're at about 70,000 subs, hoping for 100,000 soon. Thank you so much for your support. We want to bring you more content like this golden shower.
At the end, we'll have to look and see if there's comments on this, because it'd be funny because he says fight me, but then he'd probably get pissed off if anybody brings it up or fights him, like other people.
99 plus.
I'm sure there are. Okay.
All right, so Disney has ushered in a golden age. Every Star Wars.
That's why Galaxy's Edge is so busy.
Oh, here we go, guys. Let's get into this. Okay, every Star Wars conversation I've had since December 2017 leads to an inevitable question: what did you think of The Last Jedi? That is a litmus test, isn't it, for people? Rian Johnson's 2017 entry into the saga was bold and daring, but got swept up in an astounding amount of negativity, with death threats for the director, harassment that forced Kelly Marie Tran off Instagram, and demands from angry viewers that the movie be remade. It's shameful stuff, and almost made me embarrassed to call myself a Star Wars fan. I
wouldn't be embarrassed for that reason.
The ongoing negativity surrounding Disney's impact on the galaxy far, far away continues to astound me.
Much like this article astounds me.
In the wake of the final trailer for The Rise of Skywalker, I can't help but feel like I live in a different world than all those angry fans.
Fantasyland.
It is, yeah, you're living in Fantasyland, dude. I love Star Wars for more than 2 decades, and I've never been happier with the direction the franchise is going.
I've loved Star Wars for 4 decades, so...
God. That glorious cackle at the end of the first Rise of Skywalker trailer revealed that my favorite Star Wars character had cheated death and would terrorize a new generation of heroes.
That's because they were desperate and needed to pull that one out of their ass. Sorry, but
I was fortunate enough to be at the Star Wars Celebration Chicago panel.
So were we.
So were we. When that trailer was shown for the first time, it may have been the greatest moment of my life. You need to get out more. You need to get out more.
I too was at that panel, and you know, I was there when they brought Ian McDermott out and everything else, same as you. I was in special seating for all this stuff too. And
we were sitting with the Disney folks back when they liked us. Mm-hmm. But okay.
So yeah, and it was, you know, it was kind of cool to see it and everything else, but that's the greatest. That was not the greatest moment of my life, and if that's the greatest moment of your life, I hope you don't have children or anything, because that would be sad for your children.
Getting married's great and all, but that one time I went to Celebration, saw that one trailer.
Greatest moment of my life.
Sorry, honey.
I'm so jealous. Oh my god. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm okay now.
All right. So bringing back the Emperor is a gamble, but J.J. Abrams has earned my trust. Oh, there are more incredible moments ahead of us for Star Wars. The Mandalorian, Disney Plus. This is a commercial.
This entire article is nothing but a commercial.
Does he have an Instagram wall?
I'm sure you're gonna see more and more of this moving forward, because Disney Plus, you're gonna probably get ads in these videos for Disney Plus, for Disney parks, something to that effect. But you're gonna see more and more of this, because the Disney Plus is coming out next month. Well, this month now, I guess it's November on the 12th. So they are going to push the hell out of it, and also they're trying to show like crazy to get their park numbers up. So. They're going to go out to people like this to write articles like this.
Mandalorian's coming. Disney Plus is coming. We have a new video game.
The video game I'll give you. The video game does. I will give you that. Mandalorian, I'm on the fence on that one. But the game, yeah, I'll give you the game.
We can kind of visit Star Wars planet at Disney parks.
Yeah. See, okay, right here. What are the talking points Disney's pushing right now?
Yes.
The Mandalorian, Disney Plus, Rise of Skywalker, and Galaxy's Edge. And in one paragraph, in the video game. And in one paragraph, he managed to cover all of it.
Obi-Wan's coming, guys. Remember Obi-Wan? You like Obi-Wan. Rogue One, remember that robot? You like that robot,
I'm actually
didn't
interested in the Rogue One show.
Yeah, it might be okay. It might be okay. I mean, actually, if there's...
And Obi-Wan, I'm actually interested in it also.
If there is a future for Star Wars, it is going to be TV.
Well, it's funny you say that because Bob Iger says that it's not the case, that that they'll put shows on, but most of their push is going to be the films going forward.
We'll see how Rise of Skywalker
That's what Iger has said. Anyway.
So he's talking about how his first experience with Star Wars was with the special editions. And I'm not going to knock younger Star Wars fans because I know we have a lot of younger Star Wars fans. A lot of people, their first exposure to Star Wars was the special editions. A lot of people, Squid King's first exposure to Star Wars was actually Clone Wars. I don't think he watched any of the movies, but he loved Clone Wars when he was younger. We used to watch Clone Wars and Darth Cuckoo.
He used to call it Darth Cuckoo.
Darth Cuckoo was...
Say Doku, so he said...
Yeah, Count Dooku was, he called him Darth Cuckoo, but he loved Darth Cuckoo. He was
also like
and
little.
Grievous. He was. Well, that's what I'm saying.
He had a Grievous mask.
But what I'm saying is Clone Wars
Star Wars toys.
was his first experience with Star Wars.
And actually, even before that.
Lego Star Wars.
No. Well, yeah, I love the Lego Star Wars games. Like, he was like 3, and he was kicking everybody's butt on the Lego Star Wars game. That kid can play. I mean, I know you guys don't think so. The kid can play. Anyway, the little figures, they have the little sets. What are they called? Like the little preschool type.
Oh my gosh,
figures.
the Star Wars, the Galactic Heroes.
He had like all of them.
Yeah.
Like he played the Lego Star Wars, and he knew Star Wars characters because of Lego Star Wars. He did the Star Wars story because of Lego Star Wars, and he had all the Galactic Heroes, had like the ships, everything. Every set that came out, that kid got them. He loved them, tote full of them. Anyway. But this kid, his first experience, so he was born in 87 after the films. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that. That's where he's coming from.
Yeah, because I'm saying Star Wars, and this is what I want to talk about, because I want to talk about what age of Star Wars we're actually in right now. It is not the golden age.
No, this is not the golden age. You don't understand it's like you don't understand people don't understand what Mary Sue means. I don't think they understand what golden age is.
They don't understand what the golden age is, because Star Wars was, even during the prequel era, so much more relevant to pop culture than it is now. We're in literally the lead age of Star Wars. There might be a lot of Star Wars coming, but the interest in Star Wars has never been lower. I mean, never been lower to the general public.
You can't say that. How dare you? Because of the general public, not these media mongers. Anyway.
But he talked about how he loved the expanded universe, and he jettisoned the beloved expanded universe from canon. At least CGI, Clone Wars stayed in canon. The equally wonderful follow-up Rebels. Fast forward to 2015. J.J. Abrams woke the Force up, and suddenly everyone had a theory about Rey's parents and Snoke's origin.
I didn't like The Force Awakens, sorry.
Yeah, you didn't. I actually was like, I'll give it a shot. I'm curious to see where they go with it,
I think I watched it one other time ever. And I have never watched, The Last Jedi again, ever. Never.
Yeah, so here's where we get into it. And this is The Last Jedi.
All those paragraphs are talking to why his opinion matters more than yours because he's a big fan, unlike, the rest of us. Anyway.
Unlike the rest of us who actually literally grew up with the originals. And again, I'm not making this... I don't want to make this a pissing contest.
That's what he was trying to do. He is making it a pissing contest, setting up paragraphs about why his opinion should matter over everybody else's opinion. Why he's the real fan and other people aren't. That's what he just spent time doing. Yeah. I even know the expanded universe. Get in line. Hey, there's a character named after me.
This is true.
In the expanded universe because I was such a big fan. So...
This is true. Kevin J. Anderson did name a character after Geeky. And we talked about it before because she was a big fan, wrote him a letter, and he was impressed enough to include her. You were a bad guy.
I was a bad guy. I was only in 2 books and I died.
Yeah.
A wall fell on me.
Ironically,
a wall.
An Instagram wall.
It was Instagram. Hashtag.
She was killed by an Instagram.
Hashtag Cambria's gone. Anyway.
Cambria's gone. So here we talk about The Last Jedi, and this is the movie. I don't think this was what really split the fandom. I think it was a lot of things leading up to it, and this was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
I think the film caused a lot of people being upset, but then I think the behavior of Lucasfilms and the media is what really pushed people over the edge.
Yeah, that's it. It's not even the movie itself. I mean, the movie was shit, in my opinion. But it was the attitudes of the people behind the movie. And then we're going to talk about the control now. Now, when it's too late, that Lucasfilm is going to try to rein it in. Mm-hmm. And the biggest mistake they made was turning Rian Johnson loose and letting him do whatever.
And then letting him say things afterwards.
because the damage he did to the franchise is potentially irreparable. Star Wars is never going to be what it once was.
No.
I don't think. So then came the most decisive Star Wars movie of them all, The Last Jedi. It reshaped Luke Skywalker as a bitter recluse. Yeah, that was a huge sticking point. And again, not growing up with the originals, not realizing what a hero Luke Skywalker was to our generation, you know, maybe it didn't mean as much to you to see him destroyed in the way that he was, but it sure as hell meant a lot to us.
Right.
To see Luke.
Like, you want to defend Rey all the time and all these characters you love. What if they fundamentally changed everything about them and they weren't likable anymore? Would you be happy about it?
What if they turned Rey into a serial killer for no good reason in another trilogy at some point in time? You know, would you be okay with that? I don't think you'd be okay with that.
She's no longer the chosen one. She's just a piece of garbage. Wouldn't that make you mad? Probably. But you can't do that because she's protected because she's a woman.
Right.
She's got boobs.
Because Anakin, everybody knew it was coming. Even if you watched the movies in chronological order without having seen the original trilogy first, there were enough hints about Anakin turning to the dark side in the first two movies that it was not a shock when he went full on baddie. So they threw away all the mysteries about Rey's parents, and sliced all those Snoke theories in half.
I want to say something real quick. And this is why people are mad about that. Well, let's look at this. So you're trying to win goodwill back to this new Disney trilogy. You did the first movie, and I don't really care for it, but I know a lot of people liked it. A lot of people liked The Force Awakens. It felt familiar. That was my biggest problem with it. It was just too familiar. And you know, you have all these things, and you got people like these characters. They like Finn, they like Poe, they like Rey, they what's up with Snoke? Oh my God, he's like the new Emperor. And you know, who's Rey? Oh my gosh, it's so important. And you get them so invested and interested in it. And basically, all you did, like it or not, blame it on old fans and man babies or whatever. You had fans of all ages, of all genders, of all races, of all whatever, and you have them all interested in this new story, and they're all excited enough to make theories about what happened and can't wait to find out. And then you literally just flipped off everybody. Her parents are nobody. Snoke, he's dead. You know what I mean? Beyond the old ruining Luke, there's so many problems with it beyond that. You just flipped off everybody who liked it. That's what it was.
Right. And, you know, some people liked it, but a lot of people didn't. And, you know, they talked about how
Borgs, God, I hate those things.
But it was very Return of the Jedi, and then all of a sudden they turn on Snoke, cut him in half. What the Force? Suddenly I had no clue where the movie was going, and I was thrilled. Luke's return to action on Crate is glorious. He reunites with Leia and utters a line no one's ever really gone. You know, what would have been better is if Luke actually had the balls to show up in person instead of phoning it in. I might have actually had more respect. Like, hey, Luke showed up for real.
He might have got killed, but he showed up for real.
He showed up for real. He actually showed up. That's how Luke Skywalker goes out.
It could have all been resolved. They just put Rey out there in front of it with a lightsaber because she's the best at everything. She could have made sure that they all won the day. Rose wouldn't have had to shove her ship in front of Finn's so he couldn't make the sacrifice he wanted to make and take his agency away and all that because women know better. So she could have resolved it all because she's just that powerful with no training.
Oh God, now it gets really sad. So I guess I don't want to bash on this guy too much, but maybe this is his defense mechanism. He talks about how, you know, we have to let go of Luke as he becomes one with the Force. We just had to let go of Han 2 years before. We had to let go of Princess Leia in real life.
Basically, let go of anything that you loved about Star Wars because this is a new cast. You have to embrace them. They aren't in addition to. They are instead of.
Yeah, and his mom died a couple months later. And
I'm sorry your mom died, but basically you can't pick on me and harass me and fight me because my mom died?
Yeah, pretty much. So
fight me, but I'm gonna make you feel bad so you don't.
Yeah, right? I'm like, God,
don't put fight me on your thing.
They talk about Solo coming out too soon and yada yada. I can't wait for the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
By the way,
that.
Go to the theme parks, buy Disney stuff. We're in a golden age. So Cookie, your negative comments.
That's so funny, New User 1000. I was thinking the same thing about this article.
CNET is a corporate site whose existence depends on advertising from other corporations like Disney. Further, if it's going to acquire any content or information with which to write their site-filling stories, they need Disney. You're never going to get an honest evaluation from CNET
or other sites like CNET.
That's true.
That's completely true.
You don't know how far the rabbit hole goes, my friends. You don't know. As people who were on the Disney media list, yes, you absolutely need to stay in their good graces if you want access to their celebrities, if you want to get invited to theme park openings, if you want advertising dollars. Yes, you do need to make sure that Disney likes you because they will blacklist you. They blacklisted the LA Times.
Yeah. because they didn't like something. This one here, you create a murky world when you complicate good versus evil. Star Wars was built on a difference of the purity. It's why we have such breathtaking concepts in the earlier work. The new stuff is trying to complicate and mix the two forces, making the series very unremarkable. You just basically, you literally dug it up, hit it with lightning, turn it into a zombie just so you can beat it down again, kill it again, and say that you know, oh look, we finally put an end to Star Wars that already has been buried and had already had an end.
The Skywalker saga ended. The Skywalker saga ended with Luke and Vader being redeemed. If you were going to do another trilogy, you said it a couple hundred years later, and with kind of the ramifications of what happened.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a legend, and that's what you talk about.
If you cover entertainment, you know that you have to love whatever Disney cuts out. Your access cut you off. Yeah, that's what you said.
That is true.
I've never been given that impression. Sean, who wrote the article, has never been given that impression. Okay, Sean, you wrote the article. Of course you haven't, because you're kissing Disney's butt. But beyond that, for people who actually have been there and actually have been in there, just like you, there's a reason that people think that, because it is true.
It's true.
But Sean, of course, isn't going to say, I've never been given that impression. Of course not. You just, basically, I you couldn't even make an article more kissing their ass than this article was.
So let me give you my take on it, and then we'll talk about how
everybody's fighting him, and here he is. They didn't kill Ben. He didn't try to kill Ben. He didn't stick the X-ray his lightsaber and set to the dark growing in him. Every time anybody fights,
he was going to cut his own nephew's head off.
I reject your hypothesis. Long argument, and always not in here telling everybody else they're wrong.
Oh yeah,
fight me.
Sean, first off, I loved your article. Palpatine's my favorite. Secondly, I love how all the toxic comments prove your point.
All these articles prove ours. I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up in Star Trek and Star Wars also.
Oh, here we go. Relax. It's just a space opera for children. God, I've heard that excuse so many times.
Oh, that's like, it's not, every time. She-Ra, this, everything. It's not for you, it's for children.
Just shut up and don't think.
Gender identity politics aren't for you. It's for the children.
Just don't think about it.
Gender identity politics, again, in Star Wars, it's not for you. It's for the children.
God.
Lightsabers, slicing people down, killing people, his naked chest. It's not for you. It's for the children.
I hate the whole idea of gatekeeping. Now, let me give you my litmus test for fam. The Last Jedi. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. And I want to talk about how we're in the lead age of Star Wars. The Last Jedi has become a litmus test for what kind of fan you are. More so now as someone who is very much alive and an adult at the time the Phantom Menace came out. There was some backlash against the prequels. Nothing like this. Mm-hmm. Nothing. I mean, people were like, oh God, I hate Jar Jar, whatever. But you know what? The toys still sold. People still went to go see the movies. And there were people bitching about it, but not. Now, I remember when it first came out. I remember when the Phantom Menace first came out, actually, people were pretty excited. They were like, oh my God, that was great. That was great. Then when they had time to think about it, they're like, well,
same with Force Awakens, I think.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't as great as I thought. But then, a lot of the backlash was because of Jar Jar. I would say the original trilogy was absolutely the golden age of Star Wars. If you were not alive then, again, I'm not throwing shade at people who were not alive when the original trilogy came out. But as someone who grew up in the early 80s when Star Wars was the absolute king of pop culture, like, you do not understand. Star Wars was it. It wasn't one of many science fiction franchises. It was like Star Wars was way the frick at the top of everything in pop culture. And then you had other franchises trying very hard to be Star Wars, but there was nothing on that level back then. I mean, it was a whole nother stratosphere of influence, and that will never happen again. I don't think it will ever happen again with any pop culture or anything. The closest maybe is Marvel, but I don't even think Marvel is as big as Star Wars was back. Just in reference and pop culture, whatever. That was the golden age of Star Wars, okay? The silver age of Star Wars would be the prequel era, the special edition era. Yeah, there was some divisiveness, whatever, but we had, expanded universe, we had Clone Wars, we did have a lot more Star Wars stuff. Star Wars toys still sold. I think that's kind of the litmus test is, are the toys selling? Did the general public care? Yeah, Star Wars toys were selling. They were selling very well.
The general public cared.
The general public cared. Clone Wars was doing good. Our son grew up in the silver age of Star Wars, where he was introduced to Star Wars not with the original trilogy, but with Clone Wars and the video games and all that. Star Wars was still popular. fast forward to Disney, the Disney era. Now, at first it was incredibly popular. People who were upset about the prequels were like, yes, finally Disney's gonna fix it. That lasted for about 6 months. Once The Force Awakens came out, and the toy shelves were glutted with it, more Star Wars merchandise than we even the 80s had.
Well, to be fair though, they had towards the end of the prequels, the toys weren't selling either, like the voice chat ones and stuff. They started, to be fair, but go ahead.
Yeah, that is fair. But then but the toys never went away either. They always had pretty big lines, big ships, and that stuff always sold. You don't see the big ships and stuff anymore because they can't get rid of them. So once that happened, and then Rogue One came out, and even though Rogue One was pretty well received, you could see a decline in the general population caring. And I think Star Wars went from being an event to it's just another science fiction franchise. And then you could see the interest declining with each subsequent movie. You could see the toys not selling.
Well, I think with Last Jedi, everybody came because they were thinking it was going to be more of The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course it did really, really, really well at first because people thought it was going to be great. And you could see the off a cliff right after people realized, oh, what the hell was that?
Well, okay.
And then we saw what happened with it for Solo and everything.
If that was the second coming, then Luke Skywalker was Space Jesus, and they were looking forward to seeing their childhood hero be a Jedi Master, to be the character he was progressing toward, and to see him ruined like that. Just a lot of people were like, hell no, we're out, we're done,
yeah.
we're done. And
there was a lot more things to it too.
Yeah.
They deliberately brought these new characters in that happened to be female, and they were the best things ever. And I'm a woman saying this. I was like, what is going on? And the characters I did like from The Force Awakens, I liked Finn and Poe quite a bit, and they kind of got completely,
sidelined.
Yeah, or knocked down like several pegs to be, so they were less than. When you have to make male characters less than to say the female characters are more than, then it's not a strong female character. It is just an insert. They need to be, they're on equal footing and they hold their own on being a guy or a girl. Then that's a strong character.
Well, I think too, it was like I've never seen a movie retroactively ruin both the original trilogy characters, and it also ruined the movie directly before it.
But it's brilliant. It is a such a brilliant piece of whatever. But no, I love this. I'm sorry. You're talking about blindly looking for the good isn't a good sign of fandom, and then they go on this person underneath it. This is catty bitch sarcasm 101. Oh, bless your heart, sweetie. Now I'm gonna, you're full of crap, blah, 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 toxic is you. And this is Catty Bitch 101. I know this because I'm a woman and I've been to Catty Bitch 101. And this is Catty Bitch, oh, sweetie, please, I'm gonna sit here and mock you now and act like I'm being nice to you, to belittle you and show that you're beneath me. That is what this is. I'm sorry, Annie, that's Catty Bitch 101. I know because I've done it myself.
Disney Star Wars is for wine moms.
Sorry, sweetie pie.
Yeah, she's a wine mom. She's a wine mom.
She's a whining mom.
She's a whining mom.
I'm just like, I'm sorry, Annie. You lost your argument when you have to go full on catty bitch.
So let's talk about this. If Star Wars is okay and Star Wars is in the golden age, then why is Galaxy's Edge failing? Why
are toys not selling?
Why are the toys not selling? Why did they cancel their movie plans and now they're going direct to TV for a lot of these projects?
Well, the toys and the cute stuff over at Walmart, all the original trilogy stuff's gone. It's the new stuff that's left on the shelves at ours.
Yeah, so now retroactively, because of the smashing success of the Last Jedi, Lucasfilm is now going to put its thumb down on its creators, because the biggest problem I think with The Last Jedi was they basically let Rian Johnson do whatever the hell he wanted to do,
which was too far off from The Force Awakens. So some of the themes could have worked, but they had to tie into The Force Awakens, and they felt like completely different trilogies. They weren't even like on the same planet. I mean, as far as the feel, the look, everything about them just felt like it was like some completely fake or not fake, but like
it's knockoff Star Wars.
Yeah, it was knockoff Star Wars. It might have worked if it tied in. It just felt so removed. I think that was a big problem people had. It's like, what?
Okay, so now because of all this, now when it's entirely too late, Lucasfilm has decided they're going to put the kibosh on their director's inputs. They got rid of the Game of Thrones guys. There's stories as to whether they've left on their own or whether Kathleen Kennedy got rid of them. But whatever the deal is, clearly, Lucasfilm is in freak out mode. Mm-hmm. Now, they wait until now.
Right.
Until the last movie in the trilogy, until after Galaxy's Edge, has failed until after they had to cancel several movies to finally put some creative control in place. So this is coming from comicbook.com. A lot of news has unfolded after this week for the Star Wars franchise after Game of Thrones showrunners Benioff and Weiss departed their brand new trilogy. That was odd. They made a big deal about Benioff and Weiss. Now there's talk that Lucasfilm is limiting creative control on Star Wars movies moving forward. Variety reported that discussed the fallout from the week and what caused the split. Numerous reasons come up over the course of the conversation. Was it Netflix? Was it comments about Game of Thrones ending? Was it something else entirely? No one will ever know because you never do with Disney.
No.
The absolute concrete answers, but the reports surfacing now do give fans a much more full-bodied idea of what exactly happened. Everything changed in the post-Rise of Skywalker timeline almost overnight. Yep, because they had a plan. And now people want answers. So yeah, I'm sorry. You can't call this the golden age of Star Wars when the damn building is burning down. Star Wars is burning down.
Yeah, it's just there clearly was not a direction in place for these movies. You need to have a direction in place. You need to know where these 3 films are going, at least what the main points of each one are, so they're cohesive and it makes sense. And they aren't even cohesive. So I'm like, you should have had control then. Just saying.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I feel good for the people who are excited about what's coming up. From where I'm sitting, it looks like it's a scattershot attempt to try to win back fans at this point, and they don't know what the hell is going on. Disney does not know what the hell is going on with Star Wars, and I think whatever they do at this point is they're going to put a band-aid on a mortal stab wound. I think Star Wars, as we knew it, is dead. It's gone. Disney, and it's not just The Last Jedi. It was a lot of stupid decisions leading up to it. But that definitely was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I just think this comment's funny. Variety said the Lucasfilm brain trust would often turn to new writers such as Lord and Miller before ultimately returning to old standbys such as Lawrence Kasdan, the Empire Strikes Back writer who is still seen as the key sounding board on the productions.
Who hates Disney Star Wars? George Lucas hates Disney Star Wars. I'm sorry, when you have 2 of the most influential men in the franchise coming out and saying this is kind of bullshit where they're going with it, But
no, this is the golden age.
This is the golden age. George Lucas himself does not like it. Lawrence Kasdan does not like it. This is not the golden age of Star Wars. This is Star Wars being milked. It's being milked and diluted, and there's going to be too much of it, and it's going to wind up imploding and just going dormant for years. Or I don't know what else to say. It's not the golden age of Star Wars, and I feel sorry for people who think it is, because it was so much better than this, Gigi's just looking at me.
I don't know what to say. There's nothing else I could say. It's just what it is. What it is.
It is what it is.
But golden age is, I think, overselling it.
That is
a bit
way overselling. There might be more Star Wars now than there ever has been, but that doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean it's a good thing.
It doesn't mean it's good Star Wars. So I guess we're gonna wrap this one up. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.